Obviously, the first thing I want to ask is Donovan going out there and he's cramping at the end of the game. You see that type of effort from a teammate and what he's willing to give to the game and what to do in this type of situation. Just what does that mean to you as a team?
It just means that I got to try harder as well. You can't let one guy, especially your leader, go into something alone like that and give it his all. It pushes everybody on the bench to try their hardest and try to replicate that.
I know this is a tough one to swallow right now, but Kenny said that he thought you guys outplayed him and you had more force than them through most of the game. Do you agree with that sentiment? And can you bring that into Indy?
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like we outplayed them for the majority of the game, and then towards the end, we had our mental lapses. But we found a system that works. We found a style of play for us that is able to win against a team like that. So now it's just, will we be able to replicate it in Indy, like you said?
Chris.
Jarrett, how do you process the ending of this?
You just got to take it in stride for what it is. Look at the mistakes we made. You know, they capitalized on every single mistake that we did, and I feel like almost every play towards the end we had a mental lapse or a mental mistake. And it's not something that X's and O's can save you from. It's not something that a play call can save you. It's just one of those things where we have to just get the job done ourselves, and we just got to look back at it and just take it at face value.
Why do you think you didn't get the job done?
Come on, great, we lost. You know, I know it's the simple answer to give you, but it was just a bunch of mental lapses, of a bunch of things that led to them getting the ball back and going to the free throw line, or like Halliburton hitting the shot at the end.
Dan.
Jarrett, what have you seen so far that makes you think that you guys can overcome a 2-0 series deficit and that you have to go on the road now?
Right. Our ability to adjust after games, like a huge game like this. Last game, we came in and weren't playing ourselves, but this game, even down people, we were able to find out a way to go up 20 at one point. And, you know, we did let the lead get away from us, but we found the blueprint.
I know you just talked about processing it, but moving forward, what do you have to do mentally to get ready to put this in the rear view?
Work on your mental fatigue. I think this is one of those games where we just have to learn to be able to do it longer. I feel like we did it for 3.5 quarters, you know, and the mental fatigue set in, and we just can't let that happen. We have to learn how to keep going for all 48 minutes.
Ash.
I know you're going to have to rewatch it, but I know you were in the mix in the lane when Tyrese got that offensive rebound. Just what happened from what you can say right now?
I'll be honest, I haven't watched it, so I can't give you like a perfect answer. I just know the ball was tipped in the air, Tyrese got it, and he brought it to a sweet spot and was able to get the 3 off.
Kenny talked, in general with the inbounding issues you guys seem to be having at the end, that he thought everyone was just struggling to create space across the board. Just what were you seeing with that, and what were they doing in particular to kind of cause that?
Indy had great physicality on every single play, every single inbound, every single time we were trying to swing the ball or just make a basketball play. Excuse me. And I think that just led to our turnovers at the end. I know they're grabbing Ty. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's just how playoff basketball is, and they were able to capitalize off of that.
Mike.
Jerry, when you look at the defensive effort you guys had in the first quarter, 15 points, they had 35 in each of the quarters after that.
Right.
Was that just an unsustainable level of defensive effort in the first, and that's kind of why it fizzled out after?
Right. 15 points is not a lot of points, especially for a team like this that runs in transition, runs in every single play that they do. They're able to get a lot of threes up in that. Unsustainable, that'd be hard, knowing just a law of averages. They're going to make some of their shots. They're not going to turn it over every time. But I think for us, 35 points, averaging 35 points is not something we should allow going forward.
And just out of curiosity, how often do you guys practice inbounds plays throughout the season? Is that something that's a daily occurrence, a weekly?
Yeah, daily occurrence. We always go through our script plays. We script like how we would do it in the game. We just try to make it game-like.
Jarrett, fundamental things, getting ball in bounds, boxing out the shooter on a free throw.
Right.
How much of the physical fatigue do you think played into a factor with the mental side of fatigue?
It probably did. When you get physically tired, you start having a lot more mental lapses. But you can ask anybody in this league, you can't let that be an excuse. You have to be locked in for all 48 minutes, no matter how tired you are. We're the highest level athletes in the world. We can't let fatigue be the factor for mental lapses.
And for you, as you process it, what do you think you can bring more to the table, I guess, in Game 3 to try and get a win and make it a series?
Up my physicality. Try to just be more physical. That's been the name of the series, being more physical, grab and hold. Get my teammates open. Just try to make sure that everybody has a chance to score. Everybody's going downhill or just swing it to the open man. Just try to, like I always do, create for my teammates.
Nick.
Jarrett, obviously, we've been through this situation before where you're missing playoff games with injury.
Right.
So how much do you feel for your three teammates who couldn't play tonight, and
Right.
what are you telling those guys?
It's one of those things where, like you said, I've been through it. I know how it is when you want to be out there, but you can't, and everybody starts questioning your integrity for the game. It's one of those things, Evan and Darius and Dre, you know how your body works. You know when you can go out there and you can give it your all, and you know at one point, if you can't, you'll be a detriment to the team, and they want to be able to contribute to the highest level. So for them, just get your body ready. We're going to hold it down until you get back and just try to come back as healthy as you can.
How does that, when you guys are that shorthanded, 2 All-Stars and another key guy, like what does that do for your mindset?
It just gets you to play harder. As this whole year, we've been next man up. We've been showing how deep our bench is. We've been just playing through every single adversity that's been put in front of us, and this is no different. It's just time for us to find the way to win.
Daryl.
Jared, Kenny mentioned running out of gas. You talked about mental and physical fatigue down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of you guys had to play extended minutes tonight because of the situation being what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What can you take from this to, if you're in the same situation Friday night,
Right.
overcome it next time?
Yeah. I think it starts now. I think it starts getting your body ready. We don't know what the next game is going to be like. We don't know who's going to play. We don't know what that's going to look like. So right now it's up to the guys who played high minutes, the guys who are giving it out on the court, for them to take care of their bodies, get in the ice tub, do whatever you have to do to try to get ready for Friday, and just get your mental state right. Like, this is what it came down to at the end of the game, mental lapses, and just trying to make sure that when the time is needed, we're ready for anything.
Was it as simple of a case of just Indiana wore you guys down there in that second half of the fourth quarter?
I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a mix of just their fast pace. It's always hard to keep up. I think it's a case of us having a lot of mental lapses, and I guess that all draws back to the fatigue. It's just a culmination of all these different factors that transpired into this one play at the end.
Jared, given everything that went into this game and how close you guys were to an even series, what was your prevailing feeling when Tyrese's 3 went in? Was it anger?
Right.
Was it disappointment? Was it frustration?
Yeah, it's just, damn. It's just one of those. He hit a tough shot. They came back. They did everything that they were supposed to come back on. It's definitely frustrating. We were up by 20. We felt like we were doing everything right to win this game, and just a couple moments led to our downfall.
That's gonna wrap for Jay.
Thank you, guys.